A quick content warning for this video. I do not personally say any like swear words or anything, but these 3 movies that I'm going to discuss are between the age rating of PG-13 and R, and if you are planning to look into these movies yourself, please ask a parent or guardian if you'd be able to watch something like this. I am not responsible for these movies, but I just wanted to talk about them because I like them, and I also know what it's like to be a kid on the internet and find something and see something cool and then like end up not liking it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just for you. Okay, we good? We good. Okay. So it's like summer of 2020 or so, and I had just seen the movie Shin Godzilla, and I could go on about Shin Godzilla and how it's like an amazing art piece for like a bajillion years, but everyone has already like talked about it, and if you want to see a video on it, then there are people who discuss it far better than I could. The point is, I had just watched that movie, and I cannot wait to see more giant monster movies. I want to invest myself in the genre. I want to see all the greats. Enter Colossal, a tiny, tiny little indie film that I cannot for the life of me understand why no one is talking about. Colossal is an achievement of a monster movie, because it takes the genre and makes it very human and personal. Sometimes you just want to scream so loud that you can level a city, and Colossal takes all of that built up anger and disappointment that the characters have inside and makes it genuinely, like, gigantic. It is brilliant from the perspective of its broad themes, but it is also ingeniously funny and a very relatable comedy. Though I am not an alcoholic, unemployed 30-something, I still found the protagonist, Gloria, relatable. Mainly through how she tries to better herself. Jason Sudeikis' character, Oscar, is also a surprisingly well-written one. He goes through a very dramatic character change throughout the film, but even that doesn't really come too far out of left field because there are subtle hints to it early on. I am being intentionally vague about it, because a lot of the major enjoyment I got out of seeing this movie was going into it completely blind, and I'd really like you to watch it completely spoiler-free. It's probably one of my all-time favorite movies now, and I cannot recommend it enough. If you like interesting monster movies and indie films, then you're definitely going to want to check this one out. Highly, 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 highly recommended. Okay, so after my mom and dad showed me the movie Colossal, they acknowledged my enthusiasm for the kaiju genre and were like, cool, check this out. And they recommended that I watch Cloverfield. I was intrigued at first by the premise of it being found footage based, so I gave it a watch. This is the movie that made me fall in love with found footage as a genre. It enhances the suspense to such a degree that I vividly remember recoiling into the couch at one point because of how immersed I was in this movie. I was so stressed out. It's a very stressful movie.
Like Superman?
Yeah, exactly. Like, wait, you know who Superman is?
Oh my god, bro. You know who Superman is?
Okay,
Oh, I'm like feeling something. Are you aware of Garfield?
It's got some top-notch alien design, visual effects, and action sequences. But it's not really a fun movie, I'd say, that I love rewatching so much. It's more of like an experience to me. I know there's probably films out there that are like more so of an experience, but I like real steel. Real steel is my definition of cinema. But this movie, Cloverfield, I have to be in like the right mindset for it. It absolutely nails like the dread that a disaster of this magnitude would create. This movie feels like such a realistic depiction of a disaster, and I had not seen something like this on film before, so it really, really shook me up. I know it's just like a silly alien movie, but it's not to me. I really was affected by this profoundly. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just trying to process it. I admire this film so deeply, and once again, it's another one that's highly recommended to anyone who likes found footage horror, or monster movies too, or in my case, both. But now I was super into found footage. There are so many more for me to see, but my final stop in this journey is Chronicle, because they all start with a C and it sounded nice, and I make the rules. Chronicle is a great movie. Even though it's probably the lesser of the 3, it's definitely still worth a watch if you like found footage specifically. I mostly enjoy this movie as a base concept. I cannot explain the amount of endless entertainment I get out of just imagining myself having these powers. And when they're like all messing around and like trying out the powers and using them for the first time, I feel like that's where the movie really shines. It seems so genuine and so nice. Before everything goes crazy, I would probably use these powers most to fly. I feel like my personal favorite scenes in this movie is when they're all flying together, because I think about that all the time, and I want to be able to do that. One day. It's getting closer and closer every day, I can tell. I just want to see what everything looks like from up so high. It's simple and not that deep, but I find a lot of joy in that, I guess. The rest of the film also has some great moments. A major highlight being those flying scenes and the ending. It is also not without its flaws, however. But my main problem with it is the fact that I really dislike Andrew as a protagonist. Don't get me wrong, he is a really well-written character, and his entire arc is great, but I also feel like I just know too many people who are like him in real life. It felt like a little too real for me. I don't like that, but it was completely just my experience personally, and it's just my opinion. It only really matters to me. Other than that, it is a really exciting and underrated movie that uses the medium of found footage extremely well. At least in my opinion. Now we have reached the end. Those are my 3 favorite movies. Not like of all time, but like these are some of my faves, and they all start with the letter C, and I thought it all cohesively, see what I did there? It all cohesively went together. One of those great life moments. If you can recommend any other cool movies that fall within the category of found footage or monster or found footage / monster, then please recommend them to me. I love them. Bonus points if they're from like the 2000s or mid 2010s, like between that time frame. Like, yes. Check out these 3 movies and tell me what you think about them, and have a great day. I am so happy I finally got to film a music video. If any of you guys saw my You Know How It Is cover by Cara Benito, I really want to do another one, this time for an original, but I'm not sure like how quickly that's gonna happen. I'm very busy like all of the time, so... Oh yeah, and school is just absolutely just clobbering me in the forehead with work after work after work and like homework and crap, and it's like awful. So I'm really trying to make time for everything I can. Other than that, I got into the BioShock franchise. I think they're very cool video games. I am playing through the first one. No spoilers. Alright, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Goodbye!